nice restorative yoga. But I want to welcome everybody to, I don't know which one of this is, probably our 5th or 6th Capitol Health Wellness Center and Cancer Center winter retreat for our Cancer Center patients. We try to do these retreats quarterly, and for some of you do know that we did try to do an in-person retreat today. We were really close to making it happen, and just at the last minute we had to kind of pivot and change back to this format. We are hoping that for the spring retreat that we'll be able to be in person and really feel Nancy's vibes and smell Melissa's cooking, and of course taste her cooking. So just your setup, if you have seen this already when you first logged in, again, find a quiet place in your house. You want your mat and some blankets. 3 folded blankets would be great. As many pillows as you can gather, some that are stiffer, like a bolster. Yoga blocks if you have them, a bottle of water that's handy. That's all. And today our goal tonight is just to relax. We're going to learn some new tools, and really the whole 2 hours is about just ways to bring calmness to your lives. And also Melissa, as always, is going to do a fun cooking demonstration for us that again is going to give us maybe a new recipe that again might be quick and easy for everybody. So I've already said their names, but our presenters are Nancy McCormick. She's a certified yoga teacher. She's a registered yoga therapist and a retired research scientist. She leads classes here. Many of you take her classes on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. She also does a monthly restorative class. It was kind of the charge behind these retreats. It was her idea. And she also does classes for Unite for her and other breast cancer resources centers. And we always have Melissa Phelps with us. She's an oncology dietitian with Sodexo. She works in our Capitol Health Cancer Center. She works with our patients to help them with their eating habits and how they can utilize food and nutrition to help get them through their treatments, and also give them good tools for, life after. So just, if you don't know about it, we do have regular classes for our Cancer Center patients. These classes are all free. We have a class every day except Friday. Monday, we have a yoga class that's in person and simultaneously on Zoom with Maureen. We have a Zoom Tai Chi on Tuesday. Wednesday, we started a new strength class. This is actually for patients that are currently in treatment and 8 months post-treatment. So to try to get strength and keep strength while our patients are going through treatment. I've already mentioned Nancy does the 5 to 6 o'clock gentle yoga class on Zoom, and she does the monthly restorative class that is the first Thursday of every month. And then Bob does a Tai Chi class every Saturday here at the hospital from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's in person. All of these classes, again, are free for our Cancer Center patients. So today's agenda. I'm doing the opening now. Then Nancy's going to do a meditation and some diaphragmatic breathing. She's going to go right into flow yoga practice and then teach us a new breath work. I'm not sure if it's Robin's breath or breath of joy or she'll tell me how that works. And then Melissa's going to come on a little after 6 and go through a healthy cooking demonstration. And then Nancy will come back on and we'll do restorative yoga to finish up the retreat. I wanted to show you ahead of time. You already got the recipes. I do encourage you that when Melissa is cooking, we really want you just to sit back and relax. I don't even want you to refer to the recipe while she's cooking. Just know that you already have it in your inbox. You can print it out and use it. But we really just want you to enjoy that time while she's cooking. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to let Nancy take over. So sit back and enjoy.
Welcome everyone to our retreat. It's actually a perfect night to stay home and enjoy the retreat. As much as we wanted to gather and get together, we'll do that in the spring. So enjoy the comfort of your own home. So the breath of joy and the robin's breath is going to all be included in our practice. So it's all going to be woven in rather than me waiting for the breath work at the end. But we will start with some diaphragmatic breathing. So come down onto your backs. We're going to start that way. If you have a blanket or a bolster, you're welcome to put it under your knee and lower yourself down. You're going to come onto your mat. We're going to start in Shavasana and we're going to finish in Shavasana. So the purpose of having something under your knees is so that your lower back can relax and release and you can settle into the meditation with a little more comfort. So take whatever you need, a blanket over your legs or whatever makes you comfortable. Come onto your back. And just take a few deep breaths and just allow yourself to begin to settle in. Feel your body resting on the mat. Feel the back of your head sink in, the shoulders, the buttock, the backs of the legs, and your heels. And as you lay on your back, bring the breath in through your nose, down through your throat, in through your lungs, all the way down into your hips. And then let the breath come back up. So stay laying on your back. Even though I'm sitting up, you will be down on your back. Breathe in through the nose. And exhale through the nose. And feel the breath come all the way down below your ribs. Let that big muscle called the diaphragm that wraps all the way around underneath your rib cage. Feel the muscle work as you lift the belly on the inhale. Feel the contraction as the belly lowers and the air slides back up and out. The diaphragm is helping you with the breathing. We're going to breathe into the count of 4 and exhale to the count of 4. And then for the next few breaths, breathe into the count of 4 and exhale to the count of 6. Begin to lengthen the exhale, calming the central nervous system, moving into the relaxation mode. Shifting into the parasympathetic mode. And just softening, relaxing, releasing, letting go of the day. And think about the word attraction. Our thoughts draw us to what we desire, called the law of attraction. You can't force others to love you or do the things that you want them to do. There is, after all, here on earth, free will. But when you clarify your desires, focus on them. Stay open to realizing them and behave as if they already come true. You increase the odds that they will happen. Just keep your energy moving in a positive direction and not toward the direction you don't want. So the law of attraction, putting out those positive thoughts and acting as if that dream has already come true. Magnetize what it is you want and desire. Good health, happy feeling, love and light in your relationship.
Nancy, can you go a little closer to your speaker?
Oh, is it
We're-
hard to speak?
We're having a hard time hearing you.
And have your intention for today's practice be, I'm cultivating a positive frame of mind. I know what I want in my life, and I'm ready and able to receive it. Magnetizing all that you want in your life. The law of attraction. So choose whatever it is you want. May it be good health or love or light or peace. And have that be your intention for this evening. Cultivating and attracting those positive thoughts, feelings, ideas. And take another few deep breaths into the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 6. And then gently blink your eyes open, draw your knees into your chest, and take a nice deep breath. And taking both knees and ankles together, we're going to gently rotate them over to the right. Open your left arm and look to the left. And inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, come to the other side. And look to the right. And come back to the center. Let's bring the right leg up into the air and lower the left. Let's take 3 breaths. And we're going to scissor the legs, bring the left leg up and lower the right. Take 3 breaths. And lower both feet back down to the mat. Draw your heels in towards your buttocks. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open to the side. Reach your arms overhead and take a few breaths. And then bring both knees over to one side and press yourself up to seated. So is my volume okay? Give me the thumbs up if you can hear me well. Yeah, okay. Great. All right, so we come to seated. If you want to fold up a blanket and have a seat on the blanket and bring your hips above your knees and hips will relax a little bit more down towards them. Okay. It's always comfortable to elevate the hips. And let's bring our chin down to our chest. And bring your nose to the ceiling. And chin to chest. And nose to ceiling. One more time, chin to chest. And nose to ceiling. Let's come back to the center. Let your neck be long and your head bobble on top of your shoulders. We're going to rotate the head and the neck and look to the right. Come back to the center and look to the left. Keep the neck long and strong. We go over to the right. And over to the left. One more time, look to the right. And look to the left. Good, we come back to center. Inhale, scoop the arms in the air up. And exhale, press the hands away and come back. Inhale, reach up high. And exhale, press the air away. One more time, inhale, scoop the air up. And exhale, press the air away. Bring your hands on top of your knees. We're going to do some trunk circles. So rotate the ribs over top of the hip. Bringing up the lower back, the shoulders, the hips. Making some trunk circles. One more in this direction and we'll change direction. And how about one more rotation? And come back to center. Let's slide the right hand out and lift the left arm up and over. Check in with the side of your body. How's that feeling today? Nice big stretch through the left rib, the left under part of the shoulder, and the hip. And pull your navel in, engage your core muscles, pass through center, and let's come to the other side. Nice big belly breath in, and a long relaxing exhale. And come back to the center. Take those airplane arms. We're going to gently rotate to the right. Bring your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind you, and draw your chin to your back shoulder. Take a nice deep breath or two. And inhale the arms back up. Let's rotate to the other side. Hand to knee. Opposite hand behind you, bring your chin to your shoulder. And rotate, bring the arms back. And let's slide the hands. Lower your head and neck. And take a few breaths. And then bring yourself up. Good. Okay. So we're going to come to sitting on our knees. I'm going to have you take your blocks and put them up on the outside edge of your mat. And you're going to need one of your blankets. So I'm going to open this blanket up so that it's the width of my mat. And it's just to cushion my knees because we're going to be on our knees for a little bit. So come up onto your knees. If this is really uncomfortable for you, then you can fold up a blanket. You can put it underneath you and you can sit on the blanket if you need to elevate your hips because your knees are a little bit crampy. Okay. Have a seat on your heels or prop yourself up on a couple of blankets. Good. We're going to stretch the arms behind us. Bring the fingertips down or the palm. And you're going to lift open through the chest. Keep your chin right on top of your chest. You don't have to look up. And then if you can, you're going to lift your knees and feel the ankles open just for a breath or two. And then lower the knees back down. We're going to slide the hands forward to child's pose. Lower your forehead to the mat. And pull your navel in as you rise back up. Bring the hands behind you and lift your knees if that's available to you. Look forward, or if it's comfortable, you can look up and lift the chest. And lower back down. Slide the hands forward. Pull yourself back up one more time. We open the chest. Lift the knees. Press your heart towards the ceiling. Bring the shoulder blades together behind you. And roll forward into child's pose. And then roll yourself up to seated on your knees. Okay. So here's where you may want your blocks. Bring them to the top of the mat. We're going to walk the left knee forward. And again, you might want to have a cushion under your knees. If you're on a wood floor, you need something under the knees to support you. Good. So we're just stacking the left ankle underneath the left knee. Good. Bring your left hand to your left hip. And let's bring that right arm up into the air. We're going to take 3 breaths. Good. So the left knee is forward, the right arm is lifted. And take another breath. Good. And bring both hands to your heart center in prayer mudra. So I'm going to bring in Robin's breath here. So we're going to inhale our hands against our heart. We're going to exhale the hands forward, keep them together. Inhale, open your wings. This is where the robin comes in. Exhale, bring the palms back together in front of you. Inhale, back to your. Exhale, press the hands forward. Inhale, open your wings. Exhale, press the hands together. Inhale to your heart. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, forward. Inhale to the heart. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to the heart. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale to the heart. Exhale forward. Inhale. Exhale together. Inhale together. Come back to standing on both knees. Have a seat on your heels. And just take a nice cleansing breath. Good. We'll step the right foot forward. Stack the ankle under the knee. And bring the right hand to the right hip. Let's lift the left arm. So the practice that we're doing today is called Moon Dancer. It's a variation on Moon Dancer. Good. Take another breath. Reach that left arm. Excellent. Bring both hands to the heart. So you know Robin's breath. I'm not going to talk you through it like I did the first time, but we'll start together. Inhale, hands together at the heart. Exhale, hands forward. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Inhale to the heart. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Forward. Open. Forward. Together. 2 more rounds. Take it at your pace. And bring your hands back to your heart center. Take a breath. And bring the knees back. You're only going to need 1 block on one side and 1 block on the other. So a large soup can with a washcloth folded up on top also works for a block if you don't have them. Okay, so we are going to come onto the block. Your right knee is on your blanket and the right foot is behind you. Stretch out the left leg and we come up to side arm bound. Take a nice deep breath. Pull the navel in. Come to standing on your knee. Take a breath. And we come to gate pose. Come to the other side. And take a breath. And we're going to vinyasa through. Come back to the block. Take a nice deep breath. Come up to gate pose. Take a nice deep breath. And come up and over for the stretch. Another breath. And we'll do 1 more round to the center. Come down to your block. Back to center. And up and over. And back to center. Good job. Let's change legs. Adjust your block, have it handy. And some of you may not even need to do the block. Good. Open up the arms. Come over to the block on the left side. Reach the right arm up. Let's take 2 breaths. We'll start slow. Pull the navel in, engage your core. Take 2 breaths here in the center. Let your right arm drop to the right leg and reach up and over. Good, and back to center. Excellent. We'll come into the vinyasa, which is linking breath with movement. Then down to side arm balance. Take a big breath. Come up to the center. And up and over to gate pose. Take a breath. Back to center. And side arm balance. Come to the center. And gate pose. One more round, back to center. Side arm balance. Center. And gate pose. Back to center. And draw your knees and your palms together. Have a seat here in hero pose and take a breath. Good. Okay. So keeping your knees on whatever soft support you have, you can take both blocks and bring them forward if you wish. Not mandatory, but you can have them here. Good. So your hands are on your blocks or they're on your mat and we come to table. Take a breath here, pull your navel in, flatten out your back so you're not sagging. Make your table nice and strong. Good. We're going to send the right toe back and curl the toes under, take a breath. And then lift the right leg up into the air, take a breath. Keep your hips side by side. Good. We're going to take that right leg, we're going to cross it over the left leg and bring it out onto the rug off the mat, crossing it over to the left side. Take another breath. Lift the right leg back up. Pull the navel in. You're going to need a strong core. We're going to open that right leg to the side for awkward fold. And then bring it back to the center. Take a breath. Cross it over the back to the other side of the mat. Curl the toes under, open up the bottom of the foot, take a breath. And lift back up to center, pull your navel in. And open to awkward pose, bring that right leg out to the right. Take a breath. And back to center, one more breath. And lower that leg back down. Come to tabletop and take a cleansing breath. All right, we'll come to the other side. Press the left foot back, just curl the toes under. Press the heel to the back wall for a breath. Wake up the leg. And then lift the heel into the air. Take a breath. Cross that left leg over to the right side. Lift back to the center for a breath. And then press the left leg all the way out to the left as far as it will go. Keep it lifted, level with the hip, and back to center for a breath. Cross the left leg over beyond the right leg. Take a breath. Lift the foot, bring it to the center. Keep pulling the navel in. Notice your belly might want to sag here. We want to strengthen the core. And then open to the left. Back to the center. One more breath. And we'll lower the knee down. Good job. Come to child's pose. And let's thread the needle. Take your right arm, slide it across the front of your knees. Bring your right elbow in front of the left. Stretch the left arm forward and lower your head. Release the right arm, send it forward. Slide the left arm across the front of your knee. Bring your left elbow in front of the right knee. Lower the left arm and shoulder down and lower your head to the mat. Sit your buttocks back along the heels. Press the right arm forward and take a few breaths. Everybody looks good. Nice work. And one more breath. And then gently bring yourself back up to seated on your heels. So whatever props you have on your mat, you're going to want to move them off to the side. Good. Come back to tabletop. Point your fingers facing the top of the mat. Bring your thumbs towards each other as you spread the palms open. Wrists and elbows are underneath the shoulders. Your knees are under your hips. Knees and feet hip width apart. Curl your toes under. We're going to lift the hips up to downward facing dog. And just take 5 breaths. You can gently release your heels down to the floor by slightly bending the knees. Lift your hips up high. Bring your ribs towards your thighs and let your head release. Arms are long and strong. And let both heels sink towards the mat. Lift the tailbone high. Lower your heart center. Let's take one more breath. And walk your hands and feet together. Soften your knees. Pull your navel in and slowly roll yourself up. Good, very nice. Okay, so the other pranayama, which stands for breath work, is called breath of joy. So This is a really wonderful breath to do. It's energizing. And there's a lot of studies. There's actually a YouTube video out there about these heart opening breath work exercises. So we as humans, when we get excited or an exaltation, we go, yay, right? We open the arms with joy, hooray, woohoo. You're watching a child or a grandchild, maybe on the soccer field, or you're at an event, or something wonderful happens, we naturally go, yay. So it's a wonderful thing for depression or anxiety to open and feel joy and let the heart radiate. So breath of joy does exactly that. It's energizing and it'll take you out of a mood if you're feeling sad or depressed. It's a wonderful technique to have. So your feet are going to be hip width apart. It could be even a little bit wider if that's comfortable. Soften your knees. Let your hips come over your knees. Good. I'm going to start slow and then we'll work our way up. So we inhale the arms forward. We exhale the arms wide. Inhale the arms forward. And exhale, if you can, bend your knees and fold forward. Let your belly come to your thighs. And then we come back to the center. Inhale the hands forward. Actually, we exhale forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, and we bend the knees each time. And then exhale down. So we're going to speed it up a little bit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open, heart look up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, forward. So you can also make fists with your hands if you like. And down. Okay, so we're going to speed it up a little bit. So I'll do one round for you because you actually bring in the breath. So I'm going to do the full round with my fists and you're going to hear my breath, okay? Ah. Ah. And join in. Ah. 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 Let's do two more. And last one, lift. Open your heart. Lift and release. Good. And then come back up and just feel that energy. So super great thing to do. If you work all day on a computer, you can just get up and just do that breath of joy and just move your energy and wake yourself up. Okay. So let's come to the back of the mat. Inhale, scoop the air up. Exhale, we're going to swan dive. Fold at the waist with a flat back. Bring your hands down to your shins. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your hands back to downward facing dog. We'll take another 5 breaths. And then come down to your knees. And we're going to come all the way down onto our belly. Coming into Sphinx pose. So your elbows are underneath your shoulder. Your hands are out in front of you. Good. We're going to lift up through the chest. Look forward. Your chin is parallel to the ground. And we're sliding our shoulder blades down our back, pinning the bottom of your shoulder blades down together towards the spine. Good. So if this is too intense of a back bend for you, you can come down and rest your chest down on the ground. Good. We'll take another breath or two here in Sphinx pose. Good. And then bring your chest all the way down, one hand on top of the other. Rest your forehead on your hand. Let your big toe come to the outside edge of your mat. And let your heels flop back into the mat. This is crocodile pose. So your forehead is resting one hand on top of the other. The toes are off the mat. The heels flop into the mat. And take a few breaths. And then lift your head up and let's roll over onto our back. Go ahead and bend your knees. Lengthen your back on the mat. Draw your knees in and let your knees open wide. And then if it's accessible to you, you're going to bring your feet into the air as if you're going to press your feet against the ceiling. Grab the outside edges of your feet and let your knees drop down next to your ribs for happy baby pose or dead bug, whichever you prefer to call it. And take a few breaths. See if you can lower your hips back down onto the ground. Maybe rock from side to side and give your back a massage. And we'll take 3 more breaths in this hip opener. And if you can't reach your feet, go ahead and just grab your ankle. And let's bring the legs together. Lower the left leg down to the mat. Hug the right knee in. Take a breath. With your left hand on your right knee and the right arm open directly out to the side in a T, we're going to do a single leg twist. The right leg crosses over to the left and we look to the right. Now, if you have your blocks, you are welcome to take your blocks, stack them, and let your right knee come on top of those blocks. Or any blankets, any props or pillows. You're welcome to let the knee rest on top. And we sink in with a few breaths. And bring your head back to center. Draw your right knee back into your chest as you roll onto your back. Lower the right leg down and draw the left knee in. you've got blocks on the left side, bring them over to the right. Let's extend the left arm long, right hand to left knee, and we're going to come into our twist. Lift the left hip up and over, and gently draw the left leg over to the right, and look to the left. Nice, easy twist. And we come back to the center. Bring your feet and knees together, and then draw the soles of the feet together as you open the knees wide, just like we did in the beginning of the practice. Feel free to take your blocks, put them underneath your legs, with something to support your knees, your thighs. And we're going to reach those arms way overhead for a big stretch. And take 2 more breaths. And bring your arms back down to your sides. Draw the knees together. We'll take our last posture before we come into a short shavasana. You're going to straighten out your legs. Bring your torso up and let your elbows, forearms, and hands come down onto the mat. So the elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Good. So we're going to point the toes away, send the feet away from the hip. Press the heels, the backs of the legs, and the buttocks into the mat. Lift your belly, lift your ribs, and lift open your heart. And you can keep your chin right on top of your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the neck, the head, the ears. And we'll take 5 breaths here. This is Vipassana, fish pose. And another way to take this, if you don't have a cranky neck or any issues with your vertebrae, is to gently lower the head. And we take 5 breaths in fish pose. So this is very often the last pose of class. It flushes the toxins, anything that we've moved, anything we don't need, it all gets flushed out here in fish pose. When you take 1 more breath. If your head is back, bring your chin back on top of your chest. Press your palms in, lift yourself upright. Inhale, lift the arms up high. And exhale, forward fold. Bring your belly to your lap. See if you can keep your back flat. Reach the fingertips forward. Take a breath. And then on the next exhale, gently roll yourself forward. Let your head and neck release. And from here, slowly roll yourself back down onto your elbows, all the way down onto your back. If you've got a blanket handy, fold it up or roll it up, place it under your knees or your blocks. And we're going to come into a short shavasana as we wrap up the active practice, the active part of the workshop, the retreat. Come all the way down onto your back. Let your feet splay open. Let your palms roll open. And let yourself go. Close your eyes. Let your eyes sink into the socket. Let your throat melt into the back of your neck. Feel the back of your body resting on the mat. Feel your breath, the rhythm, the rate slow down and relax. And let everything go. Come back to your intention and cultivating a positive frame of mind. I know what I want in my life. I'm ready and able to receive it. Think of the word that you wanted to attract, the state of being, whatever that was, and begin to attract that. Come to the area in your belly that's called the dantian or the solar plexus, your power center, and feel the warmth of that area. Let that energy radiate out to your toes, out to your fingertips, out the top of your head. And let that feeling rise throughout your entire body. And imagine you're being a magnet. You're magnetizing the future you want. And begin to live your life as if you've already achieved that. Begin to live in the future and allow it to arrive. And take a deep breath and a nice long exhale. And bring your knees into your chest. Gently roll to your side. And taking your time, whenever you're ready, roll yourself back up. And we'll let Melissa take over the cooking segment for the next 20-25 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? Not yes? Okay. My name is Melissa. I'm one of the oncology dietitians from Capitol Health. Today, I will be featuring a very, very quick recipe. I'm actually here with my husband today, who's going to be assisting. He has his degree in culinary arts, so a lot of my creative juices come from this guy. So I'm happy to share this quick, nutritious, and delicious recipe with you. But before we get started, I wanted to pose a question to the chat room on the Zoom link. Oftentimes, our food choices are impacted by various factors in our lives. And what I wanted to see is, what are some factors that affect your meal planning? What are some of the barriers that affect your food choices, what you put in your body? And then I sort of wanted to tie that into why we're featuring this recipe today. So if everybody can just take a moment, and if you're familiar with how to use Zoom, if you can put through the chat what factors affect your meal planning. And I'm going to give it a few minutes, talk a little bit, and then I'll go back to the chat and review the answers that everyone put through the chat. Okay? All right, so just to get started, the recipe that we're doing today is a healthy burrito bowl. It features a lot of plant-based foods, including beans, corn, cilantro, pico de gallo, guacamole. And I'm going to get into why this recipe came to fruition, a little fun story I'll share with you. But before we get into that, I'm just going to get started. The title of the recipe is Dinner in 10. So dinner's in 10 minutes. Wow. What kind of recipe are you going to present today that's nutritious, delicious, and hits all those bullet points, maybe even fits into your budget? So what I'm going to do is say challenge accepted. I'm going to set the timer on my oven to 10 minutes. And what I'm going to do is at the end of those 10 minutes, you're going to see dinner's made. So without further ado, I'm going to head over here to the stovetop. Okay, so what we're adding to this recipe is a 14.5 ounce can of black beans. The stovetop is set to medium high. In the printed recipe, it says medium, but for purposes of making sure that we get dinner in 10, we set it to medium high. We did not drain the beans simply because we actually do want these juices for this particular dish. We want that moisture. So it's 1 can undrained. And what Kyle's adding to this mixture is seasoning, actually by McCormick's. It's called Grill Mates Chipotle Roasted Garlic, which I'll show you in just a moment. And particularly this seasoning just brings a lot of flavors to your particular, to your black bean mixture. As you can see, our stovetop was already set to medium high, so we already got a boil going. And I'm going to show you what we use. So this is Grill Mates Chipotle Roasted Garlic. It's a nice little trick to sort of make ends meet without adding in, like, let's say, fresh garlic. Just a quick recipe, okay? This is a recipe that you don't know what's for dinner. You have to stick to a budget. And speaking of which, let me see if anybody responded in the chat yet. Time, ideas, I love it. All right, so time is of the essence, 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes, about 9 minutes on the oven. I'm gonna head over here to our salmon, okay? So we're gonna pair this vegetarian burrito bowl with baked salmon. So let me just make sure I got the angle right for you guys. So what we have here is 2 6-ounce portions of salmon fillet. We have a small size baking sheet. And what we're going to do first is we're going to put the dry rub on it first. It's the same seasoning that we used in the black beans, that McCormick's roasted garlic. And with seafood, particularly, putting on the dry rub first is helpful because what we want is to create like crispy consistency at the very end. So when we put this in the oven, and we'll show you the finished product, when we put this in the oven, you'll get this crispy, seasoned mouthfeel to the salmon that's desirable. And Kyle's just coating it, rubbing in the dry rub into the oils. And we're gonna put this in the oven at 355. Roughly about this portion might take 15 to 20 minutes, but for salmon in general, we wanna make sure we cook it to an internal temperature of 145 degrees. Okay. All right. So what we have is 2 separate ingredients that we're going to use as the base of our burrito bowl. The first is a packet of pre-made rice. This is whole grain brown rice. I love the whole grain brown rice simply because it's got a lot of fiber in it, and you have that protective bran layer on the actual grain that isn't removed, which is an essential part. The bran from rice gives us the majority of fiber. So this is a whole grain. And basically this is, we're going to pop this in the microwave for about 90 seconds per the instructions. While we're heating up the black beans, we did put a frozen bag of corn in the microwave. And per the instructions on the bag, simply you just put the steamable bag in the microwave for 5 minutes. So that's going to be ready in about 1 minute, okay? So story about the recipe, okay. So here's the story. I generally work 4 10-hour work days. So one day I was getting out of work. It was 5:30. We didn't know what we were going to have for dinner. Okay. We all have those nights where we're like, gosh, what am I going to eat for dinner? I called my husband and he said, all right, I'm on my way to pick up, my daughter Veda from daycare. And I was like, okay, do we have an idea what we're eating? He's like, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I get home and he plates this dish. And I'm like, this is one of the best dishes I had in 2022. How did you do this? And basically in that 40-hour drive home, he picked up a couple ingredients, went home, put it together, and it was a nice vegetarian-based meal. And I enjoyed the fresh guacamole on top and the fresh pico de gallo. I will say that not every grocery store has the best pre-made guacamole and pico de gallo. But if you have a go-to grocery store that you enjoy, for what you know you like their pre-made guacamole or the pre-made pico de gallo, just go ahead and grab it. This will save you time on a busy, busy day. In the chat, I have a few more responses. Having energy after work. Whoops, put that down over there. That's the corn.
Put it in the thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Get the scissors out.
Okay.
Having energy after work. I agree. I am just starving after work sometimes. Sometimes I have to pack a snack on the way home to make sure that I don't like keel over. What spices to use and how to make tasty sauces that are healthy. I agree with that. A lot of times processed foods have a lot of salt in it. And so you really want to harvest the synergy of flavors without adding all that salt and or fat. Okay, so what we have going on here is a mixture of beans, corn, and more of that McCormick's grill seasoning. Kyle's just flipping the plate. So it's 1 12-ounce bag of frozen corn that's been heated in the microwave. Again, 1 can of black beans, 14.5 ounces, and a tablespoon of the Grill Mates Chipotle roasted garlic seasoning. 3 ingredients. Okay, now we're going to put the rice 90 seconds in the microwave. There's nothing wrong with the pre-bagged varieties of rice as long as they are listed as whole grain. Okay. Did you heat it up?
Okay.
Okay, you can put it
I
in.
was just showing you, you open up. But
Oh yeah, a lot of them have those tabs.
Yep.
Yeah. So 90 minutes.
seconds.
So basically, oh, sorry, 90 seconds. Basically with the brown rice, I love it because it's whole grain and there's nothing wrong with the pre-bagged varieties of rice, simply because as long as it says that it's whole grain or brown rice, you're good. You're getting the full grain, which has all the fiber in it. Majority of Americans aren't getting their dietary fiber. That is not good because fiber is one of the pillars to a cancer protective diet. Fiber helps feed the bacteria in our gut, which in turn helps optimize our immune function. With that being said, between the beans, the corn, the brown rice, and then we're going to add some toppings like the red onion, as well as the cilantro, we're getting a lot of fiber, rest assured. As far as the chat goes, another contributing factor to a lot of folks' meal planning is money, right? The cost of groceries are going up. Cost of gas is going up, down, up, mostly up, right? And so we all have our own set budgets. So the question is, how much does this meal cost to make, right? For a family of 4, this recipe feeds about a family of 4. If you have a smaller family, you have enough to pack for leftovers tomorrow for lunch or to eat for dinner the following day. But basically this recipe in entirety between the pre-made guacamole, the pre-made pico de gallo, the bag of corn, the can of beans, the onion, the cilantro. I went to Wegmans, I rung it up separate from other groceries I was getting. This recipe costs $21. So roughly about $5 a person for the meal, which personally, I feel like it's amazing that you can get a meal this cheap for this quick. Now, we have 3 minutes left on our timer. So we got to make sure we deliver, right? Do you want to plate it over here? Yep. So I'm going to plate over here. And let me just make sure you guys can see the bowl there and get pretty centered. And all right. So this is just an individualized portion. Okay. So there's the brown rice. We're going to add in a few spoonfuls of the beans and corn. Okay. Next, a little bit of the pre-made pico de gallo. Personally, I went to Wegmans for the pico de gallo, but a lot of grocery stores, ShopRites and such have their own pre-made varieties. A dollop of pre-made guacamole. If you have an avocado in a pinch, you can add it to it. Mash up some avocado and put it on the plate. Now we're adding in some raw shredded carrots. And I really like how the color pops. It's nice to like sort of look visually at your plate and go, wow, I'm eating a lot of colors, because oftentimes those colors indicate the phytonutrients that you're getting from the plant-based foods. Next, we're going to do some chopped red onion. And this is optional, but if you wanted to put some lime, either squirted on top of the dish or have it as a garnish on the side, whatever you choose, that is an option. Okay, last but not least, the cilantro. Okay, so there is our meal, 10 minutes with 30 seconds to spare. And I'm gonna pull my phone. If I could do this, I like to sort of get the side profile going. All right, there we go. That might be a little better on your screens. So you got a lot of colors from this and a lot of different nutrients in this dish, okay? Okay.
Did you lose it?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Just clicking back into my ring light here, guys. All right. All right. So I'm going to hold it up like this. Okay. So what we have here is we have the healthy fats from the avocado. We have a phytonutrient called lycopene from tomatoes and the pico de gallo. We have something called allyl sulfur, which is present in all onions. Again, another powerful phytonutrient that protects our DNA. We have all the dietary fiber from the beans and the corn. Additionally, again, more beta carotene from the shredded carrots. So adding in flavor, somebody mentioned, how can I add in flavor easily? Maybe without adding in all the extra salt. Biggest thing, adding in flavor, fresh herbs, fresh lime. You can use, like, for example, I cannot say with certainty, I'm pretty sure that the McCormick's has some salt in it, but it's mixed in with fresh seasonings, including garlic powder. So this is relatively a low salt dish. A serving of the rice is 10 milligrams of sodium. A serving of this whole dish does meet the dietary guidelines for a heart healthy diet. Very rich in plant-based foods. The American Institute for Cancer Research recommends that 3/4 of your plate be plant-based foods. This is 100%. So 100% delicious, 100% affordable, and 100% doable if you have 10 minutes to spare. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today. And at the very end of this presentation, we're going to show you the final product with the salmon. And remember how I was talking about the seasoning and the oil and how it gives this crispy consistency? That's what I really want to feature when you pan back later on. Nancy, back to you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Okay, great. Thanks, Maria. Boy, that sure looked awesome. Now, I wish we were there and we could have tried it in person. So my sound did go down on me earlier, so I want to double check and make the sound that it's back up. Okay, so you should be able to hear me. It's on 100%. Okay, so come back onto your mats if you went to a desk and sat down somewhere. And let's see, I'm going to try and get back to gallery so I can see you all. Okay, perfect. Everybody can hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to come into the restorative part of the practice. So in an ideal world, you would have a bolster like this. But if you don't have a big bolster, we're going to make one. You're going to take a block and another block, and you're going to put them right in front of each other. So if you don't have blocks, then just take a bunch of blankets, or this is a sofa pillow. You can use this sofa pillow as your bolster, and we're going to build on it. So I've got a blanket. It's folded into quarters. So I folded it in half, folded it into a quarter. So it's a big square. And then I'm going to take that square and fold it into thirds. So I've got a nice big rectangle, and I'm going to put it on top. Okay, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to fold my next blanket in half. And then I'm going to fold it into quarters. And then I'm going to take that quarter and I'm going to fold it into thirds. Good. Okay. And then I'm going to place it over top. So now I have a bolster, right? So look, they're about almost exactly the same height as an actual yoga bolster. Good. Okay. So that make sure that you've got your blanket covering and softening the edges of your blocks, or you've just got a bunch of blankets stacked rectangularly. Okay. So we're going to take another blanket and fold it up into a rectangle, and then you're going to roll it into a Tootsie Roll. And this is for your hip. Good. So we're going to put that on the side, and that's going to stay here for now. So we're going to do half frog. So supported half frog. So I'm going to move this up here so it's out of the way for now. Okay. You're going to bring your hips onto the bolster. And your head is going to actually, so this bolster is a little bit short. So I'm going to bring my belly onto the bolster and the top of my hips and let my head come down. I'm going to draw my knee up. And I'm going to take this little Tootsie Roll and put it out in front. So I have something for my head to rest on. So ideally you have your hips up on your bolster and then you have the Tootsie Roll supporting your head, or as many blocks or pillows, whatever you need for your head. We're gonna bend this right leg and draw it up, and we're gonna keep the left leg long. You're gonna straighten the left arm out long, so you've got your left leg and your left arm are one long line. And then you're gonna bend the right arm and rest your head. The right arm is bent, the right knee is bent. And we're gonna come into half frog, or it's also known as flapping fish. And then take a few deep breaths. So in restorative yoga, we take a pose, we get ourselves supported, super comfortable. Whatever props you need to soften the pose, grab them and place them where they need to be. And allow yourself to relax and release. And just bring yourself back to your breath. Just the simple act of bringing your attention to your breath can slower the rate, can deepen the breath, relax the body. And just allow yourself to find a deliberate stillness. Let the mind quiet. Let the body unwind and release. And when you find your mind begins to wander, with a gentle effort, simply bring your attention back to your breath, back to the moment. And if there's any area in your body that you feel yourself holding, take a deep breath and let it soften. Feel the muscles release. And take a deep breath. Become aware of your body. And very slowly bring yourself upright to seated on your heel. And then gently bring your forehead to your bolster, reach your arms forward, and we'll take child's pose for just 5 breaths. And come on back up. Adjust your bolster, however you have that. We're going to come to the other side. Bring your hips back on the bolster, your belly, your ribs, your chest. This time we bend the left knee and hip. Roll up your Tootsie Roll or your pillows, whatever you've got for your forehead. Rest your forehead. We lengthen the right arm and lengthen the right leg. Bend the left arm and bend the left leg. So you can have your forehead on the pillow or the Tootsie Roll, or you can turn and look to the left if you prefer. And come to the other side. Relax, release, let go and restore. Just simply noticing without judgment how the other side feels when you come into flapping fish, half frog, whatever you prefer to call this pose. And allowing yourself to sink in. Cultivating the habit of attention. What do you notice? Where and how do you hold tension? And then consciously release it. Find space. Space in your joints. Space in your muscles. Space in your organs and between the organs inside your body. Become aware of the space outside of your body. Where can you soften? Where can you release? And where can you let go? Restorative yoga enables deep relaxation as we hold the poses for longer periods of time with the help of the props to completely support us. The main focus of restorative yoga is that by releasing in the poses with the aid of the props, without strain or pain, we achieve physical, mental, and emotional relaxation. And fill your belly with your breath. Become aware. And then gently bring yourself back up. And once again, bring your forehead to your bolster, stretch your arms forward and come to child's pose. And then slowly bring yourself back up to seated on your heels. So we're going to do legs up the wall or legs over the chair. And if you don't have a wall accessible to you or a chair, then I'll show you how to build props. But for those of you that have, I have this chair right here. So you can even use a folding chair and just put a blanket over a folding chair because they tend to be cold and made of metal. So I'm going to bring my hips all the way to the left leg of the chair. The chair's behind me. I've got my hip next to the leg of the chair. I'm going to come onto my back and bring my legs up on top of the chair. And I'm just going to open my arms wide. So this is legs up the chair. If you come up next to the wall, then you're just going to put your feet against the wall and take your inversion that way. So the back of my thighs and my buttocks are all the way up against the chair or all the way up against the wall. So if you're not able to come to a chair or a wall, you're going to take all of your props and you're going to begin to stack. So put your blocks on the bottom. They may be able to go on their sides if that's sturdy for you. Take your pillows, whatever you've got. Fold them into rectangles and stack as many as you have up on top. So this is just about as tall as my chair, and this will probably work just fine. So again, I'm going to bring my buttocks as close as I can get it to the far edge of the cushion, come onto my back, and let my knees drape over my bolster. And then open my arms wide. And let your lower back sink in. You might need to adjust your hips, lift them up, move them from side to side, and let your whole lower back sink into the mat. Let your neck lengthen. And take a few deep breaths and feel supported enough that you can fully let go of your legs. You don't want to be holding. You don't want any tension in the legs. Make sure your props are firm and sturdy. So you can completely let go of the lower body over the props that you have. And then once again, come back to your breath and allow yourself to sink in deeply into legs over the props, over the chair, against the wall. Whatever you've created, allow yourself to enjoy it. Allow the layers of tension to melt away as you become fully present to what's happening in your body with this breath in this moment, sinking in and letting go. And find comfort and ease. Let your body feel fully supported. Continuing to allow the release of any muscular tension. Take a deep breath in and let it all go. You are safe. You are supported and secure. Let all the tension go. And take a full belly breath in. And gently roll to your side. Take another breath when you've come back down all the way onto the ground. And very slowly press yourself up. Come back to your mat if you moved to a different part of the room to locate a chair or a wall. Good. And we'll come into the final resting pose, Shavasana. So take your bolster, place your knees over your bolster, whatever that is that it's made of. Grab a blanket or two. And wrap your feet, pick them up, tuck the blanket underneath your feet. Push the blanket all along the side of your body. We're going to do mummy shavasana. And if you have an extra blanket, this is a really nice thing to do. I've got this folded into quarters. And I'm going to roll it up and make a big, long, skinny Tootsie Roll. So this is a nice, long, skinny Tootsie Roll. You're going to come down onto your back and then wrap the top of the Tootsie Roll around the top of your head and press the Tootsie Roll into your ears. So the top of your head is covered and the Tootsie Roll comes around to your neck. And then bring the rest of your blanket up over your body, tuck your arms in, tuck your shoulders in, and gently open your arms, flip open your hands, release your knees, release your heels to the ground. Make any adjustments you need and come all the way into Shavasana. And breathe, relax, feel, watch, and allow. To rest is to relax deeply. There's no physical movement in Shavasana. No effort. The mind goes perfectly quiet. And allow the nourishment of tonight's retreat to sink in. Fully let go. And fill your belly with your breath. Come back into the room and into your body. Draw your knees to your chest. And very, very slowly bring yourself back up to seated. And Melissa is going to share with you her last few thoughts and the final finished project of her cooking.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Even though sometimes I can't participate 100% with the baby running around and everything, I always appreciate your calming voice. That makes me want to just be relaxed.
Thank you.
Yes. So what I have here is the finished product. Okay, so we got the full dish. And let's see if we can get a good view of that crust. So it's got this desirable crusting to it. Again, simple ingredients, just salmon, that McCormick's garlic onion seasoning, and olive oil. As you were finishing up, I also portioned some for work and for my husband. So it's very colorful. It's a very interesting dish. Again, really cheap. I just had some finishing comments. If you're currently undergoing treatment and you're experiencing any nausea or vomiting or diarrhea from your treatment, this isn't the recipe for you right now, just because it has a lot of insoluble fiber and that can make your digestion a little bit harder. Maria had a question about the McCormick seasoning. It does contain salt, but it also contains black pepper, chili powder, paprika, cumin, garlic, onion, and sunflower oil. So it's a concoction of different spices and herbs with some salt in it. Last but not least, I just wanted to mention that with the proteins, this dinner, again, can be cooked in 10 minutes, but if you wanted to add an animal-based protein like chicken or fish, it will add some additional time. Surprisingly enough, the salmon only took 15 minutes to cook to that internal temperature of 145. So we were plated and ready to go with the salmon at 6:25 p.m. And I know I started talking around 6:05. So from start to finish with me talking, 25 minutes, but definitely can be achieved in a shorter period of time with the salmon. I think that pretty much completes everything. I did want to mention too, one last thing, that in the demo, we mixed the corn in with the beans while we were cooking it up, and you can definitely do that, or you can plate the corn separately. That is perfectly fine. I did want to show you my daughter's plate, made her a little one as well. Now, you know, with toddlers, they like everything separate, so I made it that way for her. But she's always willing to try something new, and even if she doesn't try some of the new things, I got some brown rice on there, and I know that she will eat that by the fistful. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and I hope that next time we can get to meet each other in person and enjoy the delicious food that I cook. Have a good evening, and I'm going to send it back over to Maria.
Thanks, Melissa.
Hello, everyone. So I just want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank Nancy. I always thank Nancy from the beginning. This retreat was her idea way back in probably 2019. And then we went on a little bit of a roller coaster and how we were going to do it. And we've been doing it via Zoom. We will try to do it in person, having the addition of Melissa to come in and do the cooking, healthy cooking. And I think today's recipe, you know, sometimes maybe we would order something like this at a restaurant. But sometimes I think we just need an idea or two to say, hey, this is something that's pretty easy to do. Really, really healthy, kind of a crowd pleaser, right? Because you could literally make it like a buffet at a party. Anyway, I think it's a great idea. She always has really great ideas. Thank you to her husband. We didn't see baby, which I wanted to, I'm sure she's not baby anymore, but we've been watching her grow throughout our different retreats. But again, I'm going to share my screen just to put up the last slide. Sorry. Just in case you want to get in touch with us. Here's the contact information for the Cancer Center as well as the Wellness Center. We have classes. If you have questions, please get in touch with me directly. That is my direct number, the 537-6422. I know Melissa will take questions as well if you have any specific questions. And they also have their navigators. Allison, I think, is still on the call here. But anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you for participating. I'm glad that nobody's out driving in this crazy weather tonight, so maybe it all worked out for the best. So with that, I'll say good night. Everybody have a really nice evening and weekend, and thank you again all for participating.
Good night, everyone. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you. Good